Gonna do our little update video here. Here's our 6 starters. We've got our 2 ducks and our 4 chickens. They're just loving life, getting out and exploring. We got this little fence up here on this side because the property line's somewhere over there, but we just wanted to put this up as a temporary measure. It's pretty much duck and chicken proof at this stage. As the chickens get a little bigger and can jump higher and fly a little higher, this is not going to be chicken proof because they'll be able to hop up to that beam and then hop up to the other side, which kind of sucks. But anyway, we're going to do a combination of planting taller herbs into this area, like dill, and then also put chicken wire up on this second level. See how that goes. They love it out here. We try to let them out an hour or 2 a day at least. We fill this little pond up, kiddie pool, when we have more than about an hour to let them out at a time. The ducks kind of like it some days, other days not so much. Today's kind of windy and a little chilly, so they would not like it today. We've got our coop in here, and as you can see, they're spilling feed everywhere. So we need to figure out how to fix that. We got this feeder we built. I guess it's a low mess for your chickens, but for ducks, they're just spreading it around everywhere. This is all feed. Very little of this is wood shavings on the floor, which is disappointing because that's a big waste of food, and it'll attract rodents, so we need to figure out how to fix that soon. We've got a waterer that we just put in yesterday. It's got a little hole here. This is a 4-gallon bucket, and then it's got water in here. They can use this to kind of flush out their sinuses, the ducks. And hopefully, if we put this here and we take out the bowl, the chickens will learn to use this. But I'm not ready to make that leap yet, but we do need to make it soon because we're leaving the country in 2 weeks. So just for a week, but they won't be checked on more than once a day at that point, so I want to make sure they're all good. This one in here, this is our little secure area for the little ones. We've got 3. We had 4 in here. One didn't make it. It got too cold, I think, maybe. But it had, and this is a really warm heater. So I don't know. I don't know why it didn't make it. But anyway, they've got their food and water. We would put them into general population, but this feed is medicated. So it's toxic to the ducks. And then the other thing that we are worried about is the other birds stealing that food. They're not quite big enough yet for the other food. Will be in a week or so. This is my little farm hand here.
And this is an old big shovel.
Yep, that's her shovel. And so we got a feeder out here and everything. They're doing okay. We'll release them to general population in a week. And then that'll give them a week before we leave to adjust, try to spot any problems, that kind of stuff. So we continue out here. We've been working on the garden area. Not any progress in the last week or so, though. So we got a little fence here to keep the chickens out all the way to the side of the house. So this is the chicken and duck area to roam. We want them to be quite a bit bigger before we let them out unsupervised in this area. And we are worried about birds of prey. Usually every hour at least we'll see a hawk. So I've got mixed feelings about letting them out. I might just build a little enclosed run to let them out at all times and then kind of let them into this area as appropriate when we're here and home. So this is our garden area. This isn't the way you're supposed to do it, but I've got some cardboard on the ground level, then some black plastic. I've got these holding them down for now. I've got a ton of brush though, as you can see. About half of that from earlier this winter and half of this from yesterday. So I've got a buddy coming that's gonna chip all of this up and blow it into this area. Once it's all blown in, I'll continue that wall to here and then run it to this wall with the pallets so that we kind of have an enclosed area where the kids aren't gonna step on crops. And then this fence is not necessarily chicken proof. It's a little low, maybe only 24 inches if that. So we will plant a lot of our perennials over here as well, and some of our herbs and stuff like that. We have like our vegetable category of our crops, which will be mostly in here, especially the tomatoes, peppers, everything that likes it warm is going to be over here. We're going to have our squash and stuff over here. And then along this fence line, we're going to do what we've classified as our weeds. Those types of plants that we're growing, whether for herbs or just to attract pollinators, we're going to put along here. And that may be enough of a deterrent to keep these guys out. I'm not sure. We'll see. They are getting used to the kids. Not super scared, but still a little skittish. They don't love to be loved on. So if we come over here, I can't remember if I posted the video yet or not, but we planted some Jerusalem artichokes along this fence line on this side a little bit, and then all out here. As you can see, we had anyway, kind of a mess back here. I mean, we still, in removing brush and everything, we're still coming across. That's a Bud Light can. That's a can of Chew over there. We're saving that to spray on the plants. It's a good insecticide. If it's a good insecticide, it kind of makes you wonder why people ingest it, but that's on them. We've only been here for 2 months, so it's been a lot of changes already. We got some more Jerusalem artichokes right here. We're trying to figure out what to do back here, maybe in a future project. This is a new fence right here. Well, fence, wall, whatever you want to call it. It's really rocky back here. It wouldn't be a great site for a garden, but we're thinking of cutting down some of these overgrown shrubs and maybe planting some raspberries or other berry bushes. It's this way is west, so anything that grows here will have good heat, but a lot of shade from the direct late afternoon summer sun. So we're trying to identify what that would be, but we just don't have time to do anything about it this year. And we got brush everywhere. Reason why we planted the garden clear back here and not closer to the house is because of this guy. This is a cottonwood tree. It's really unhealthy. I've pruned it somewhat just to keep stuff out of our way, but it's still a mess. And these things, unlike some of these other trees, like these junipers, they will take whatever you give them water-wise, but they can only uptake so much. And they kind of kill everything below them, as you can see, just with the transpired chemicals that they let off in the summer when they're growing. But these cottonwoods, stuff can grow under them, but when it comes to crops and things like that, their roots will take up anything you give them. If you give them 10 gallons a day, they'll take it. If you give them access to 250 gallons a day, they'll take it. And anyway, so anything really, even another 20 feet behind me is potentially in the root zone of this thing. So we don't want to give them any crop water. And then this is all just brush. All of that, everything you can see here at kind of ground level is stuff that's been cut down. Then I've got about 30 seconds left as far as what my phone will let me do. So let me show you here. This was a juniper tree yesterday, really tall. I don't have a big enough chainsaw to cut it down all the way. I will later. But this guy was just kind of growing in its shade. My guess is it's maybe a Austrian pine or lodgepole pine. Not quite sure. My guess is Austrian, but anyway, it's just growing here. So we're going to free that up, and now that it's established, it should grow about a foot a year, which will be really nice.